Yes, people, welcome to Never Foul. You know what it is, man. We're back with the guys. It feels like it's been a long time since I've seen Monts. And well, I ain't seen Roms really, to be fair. He saw Ty instead, you know. There's been this like thing lately where Roms don't like turning up to my streams. Always got some sort of excuse. I'm in the office, even though it's 10 p.m. at night.
You're still that man control, bro.
You're still that family in Nottingham. What family in Nottingham? You're from South. Don't do that. And you know what I mean? It's making every excuse just to not be on Never a Foul. But here he is, man, because he's been bullied into it and he feels guilty because that's how Roms work.
I'm here.
I can't lie. Sunday, I don't know if you watched it once, but Don got cooked differently, bro. Like I'm talking Kunle, Roms, even Ty.
Who else? You know what it's reminiscent of? Remember when? Of course, but you know when they grabbed G-Mods after the guy said it. That's
yeah. No, it was worse. It was
actually, it probably was worse. It probably was worse.
It's just lucky. You lot are just lucky that I was busy, and you lot are lucky that this weekend I was busy to do the Never a Foul stream, because there's so many Chelsea fans in the Never a Foul community that can fucking hold that. Fucking hold that. All that chat.
I know you're tapping that webcam here, but I hope you don't do that to the new one I'm going to be sending you.
Still be in 12. You are still in 12.
Do you know what's his nickel at? You see London Underground, the tube, when you go to them curved mirrors and your faces.
Oh my days.
That's what he looked like. That's what he looked like just then.
Yeah, man. They didn't want to see me. I say no. I spice.
Yeah, we say Mo, man. Settings, man. You're in your car. He's just like got the shades on, chilling out.
Chilling, waiting, just about to check into an apartment, and it's all right, living the life, waiting for Salah to be sold, waiting for the consulto, waiting for everybody to just melt down. Anyway, we're here,
Yeah, definitely, because that's what we're going to be diving in today. So today, apparently, Amrabat's potentially injured. Well, when I say injured, there's a potential future injury with, again, guess what? Shot, come from Italy. Guess what they found during the medical? A minor back injury. Minor. So, and you never know. It doesn't mean he's unfit or he can't play. It just means there might be something in the future if they don't manage it well. Also, there's obviously Sancho stuff is keep going on and on and on. And then there's obviously the Salah stuff. Even Jordan Henderson. So both clubs got a bit of news, funny enough. But I feel like we need to dive straight into the Man United stuff because it's the latest. Jadon Sancho again. There's three different options. Apparently, he's gonna have some crisis talks with Ten Hag. The second option is that there might be a mutual termination, which I don't know if that makes any sense in my mind when he's still a sellable asset. Or 3, he gets sold in January. What are you saying, Roms, man? Because this guy, like, he hasn't performed, he hasn't done much. He's been given, help. As we know, during last season and that, and it's just things are all up in the air. We didn't really get to talk about it too much yesterday, anyways, because I thought it'd just be done. And then now there's Anthony news as well with his potential stuff, and now it's getting investigated by police and of all sorts in Brazil and then in Manchester. It's just a shit show, isn't it?
First things first, as a United fan, this just must be, on top of everything that's going on with your club, this just must be stressful for you because, Cad, none of this would be happening under Fergie. None of this would be tolerated. But with the Sancho situation, right, I think it's a bit on both of them, Ten Hag, and I think it's on Sancho as well, because Ten Hag got asked the question. There's this notion, he just threw him under the bus. No, he got asked the question, but there's a way of replying. He could have just said some players that, similar to what Arteta did, I think, a couple months, some players that haven't been performing on training won't be in my matchday squad, right? But then for Sancho to reply like that straight away, and we all know in life, if someone calls you out and you don't agree with what they're saying, and it's a personal attack, you're going to have your backup. But you can't just call him out straight away as soon as he's put that up. I think from Sancho, there was a more professional way of dealing with it, but I don't think Ten Hag helped himself. I think, in my opinion, in this situation, I think they're both in the wrong. But when you think of Sancho's career at United, he's not. I heard you say a couple of streams over time. He's not even put in a 9 out of 10 performance even once. He had a few sevens, a few eights. He's not done anything to really warrant his place. And we all like to say, give him a second season. He had his second season and didn't really pull up any truth. Yes, I know he's going through things mentally, but you know what? I think this is a signing now. I just think we need to cut the losses. I think we all know he's a talented player. We all know he's a very talented player, but I don't see a future for him at United. And I think the best case scenario is to sell him in January. I don't think he can move to terminate his contract. Like I said, he still is a valuable asset, but I think a club might come in for 30 or 40, half of what he paid for him. I think January makes sense to sell him. I don't see a future for him at United at all.
Is it just me or can I hear someone with background noise? Let me one sec. It's not Roms. It's Mo.
How about now?
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, it's just AC.
Yeah, Roms. Big when someone else's mic was on, it was just cutting out your one, weirdly enough. But you know, I heard everything you were saying. What you saying once, man? Do you want to take Sancho for 35 million?
Yeah, I'm there. Let's do it.
Would you actually take him?
Yeah, let's do it.
I just want to comment on what Ram said. Ram said it's both parties are wrong. Can you tell me what else should Sancho have done, Ram, please?
I think the next training day, go to Ten Hag office, knock on his door, and have it out like that. I don't think personally he should have called him out. Yes, I understand if someone calls you out personally, you're going to feel attacked. But there's a way of dealing with it. I feel like he should have gone to his office and spoke to him that way. Don't put out a statement as soon as you've heard what he said about you. For me, that's just a bit wrong because now it's just toxic. Now the world knows. Now they know it's a rift. And United don't need this on top of a week they've had with the Glades potentially staying and all the news around the club. It's just extra negativity that they don't need. That's just my opinion on it. I feel like he could have went to Ten Hag and spoke to him, not call him out now. Because now it just looks embarrassing from a United standpoint.
It's not embarrassing for Sancho, in my opinion. It's not.
I think it is.
I think it is. Both parties.
Why? He literally, someone just called him out and said, you're not training well. And he said, no, I am training well. He literally just said that. So in my way of looking at it,
if it's not just Ten Hag, but it's actually the coaching staff as well that have said it, then is it really just on Ten Hag's own decision when he's got a whole team that says, I don't think he's been performing to his levels? Like, you might think you're on level.
I am not calling Ten Hag a liar. By the way, I'm not calling Ten Hag a liar.
I think it roots deeper than this.
Jadon Sancho might be not training well. I'm not saying Ten Hag is a liar. Probably more than likely, he's not actually training well. Otherwise, he will be choosing for games. It's as simple as that. No coach wants to lose. Every coach wants to win. My thing about Jadon Sancho, what he said, he just looked out for himself and responded, which is fine. I respect that, but you just know that you have no future in this club. And I am sure that his trusted ones told him that once you put that statement out, you're done at this club. And probably he's like, whatever, I'm done already at this club. So I just put the statement to defend myself. I get it why he did it, but I get like he has to accept the consequences.
I don't know why we're moving like this. This is anything new. Like, manager's been doing it for years.
I don't know. Like, I feel like, again, you got to remember with Sancho, yeah, to me, it seems like it's boiling point. Like, he's hit tipping point. Because I feel like he's had to, as he said, if you actually look at what he said for a while, he's been very muted about things. And this is kind of the last straw. I don't think this is the worst thing that's happened in the world. I agree with Mo. I don't think it's all the way out of line. It just seems to me like a culmination of things. And now Sancho's just he's hit tipping point. And it's all spilled over. That's probably what it is. I can understand both sides, but I look at Sancho's frustration, and if I'm looking at this Brazilian guy on the right wing, costing more than me, playing worse than me, like, and
is it?
Yeah.
No.
They're the only, as I said, everyone can have their opinions. I think Anthony, for big money, is doing the same thing that Sancho's been doing. He's just with a little bit more intensity and he's doing more step overs. That's about it.
This is where I got to disagree with you. I love the back Sancho, especially coming from South, but I don't think you could say that because yes, I'm like you. I don't rate Anthony like that, but Anthony's done more. He's scored in bigger games. He's actually staked his claim a bit more than Sancho.
Sancho's backed against Liverpool.
Other than us, that was what other games? Because I know Anthony's backed against. I think it was Arsenal in his was it his debut, Kaz, or second?
Arsenal, City, and Barcelona.
Yeah, them three.
Months. No, you cannot compare Sancho's career at Man United to Anthony. Though that's very disrespectful to Anthony.
Man.
I am sorry, bro.
All right.
Listen, I say Anthony's terrible and all this stuff, but to compare Sancho's career to Anthony, come on, no.
I'm not saying I rate him by the way, Monts, but he just done more than Sancho in a shorter space of time.
Definitely,
I'm not saying I don't rate.
First of all, I'd even say that you can. We won't talk about GA because both of their GAs is crap. Yeah, I believe Sancho got 9 GA last season. I think Anthony got like 6 or 7. They weren't too different from each other. Let's just say that there's. But again, my point is, I'm not saying that Anthony and Sancho. It's like Anthony's. Yes, in my opinion, I believe Sancho is a better player than Anthony. I believe he's a better player.
Agree.
I say the thing is that Anthony has over Sancho for me is body language and application. Probably looks more. It just looks better, and that's always going to put you in a higher position, even if you're good or not, or whether you're playing well or not. However, if you compare both the price tags, again, both of them are flopping. But Anthony is getting so much. For me, Sancho was in and out the team. He got certain runs in the team. There were little runs, but Anthony is consistently starting week in, week out. I think Anthony gets away with things that Sancho can't get away with. Anthony can have 5 bad games in a row. He's playing for the 6th game. Sancho has 2 bad games. You're not seeing him for 3 weeks. You're not.
Question for you three.
No, why is no one answering that?
No, I'm about to. Do you think, Mont? Do you think that's because Ten Hag and Anthony already had that relationship from Ajax, where he's going to give him a bit more leeway? He knows him a bit more. Do you think that could play a part in it? Because let's be honest, you don't know Sancho how he knows Anthony. Anthony, I think, played under him for 2-3 years at Ajax, so their relationship is better. So he'll give him more respect. You could say he'll give him longer run-ups. That's the way. I see that situation. I agree with what you're saying, but he's got a better relationship and he knows him more.
I feel like Anthony's only had 1 year in the Prem. Sancho, this is his 3rd year. Like, do you remember? Like, Sancho's not his signing. Anthony is. And I think the main thing is the fact that Anthony's got a left foot. Anthony's got a left foot. Sancho's right-footed. I don't think he wants a right foot. I don't think he wants a winger that's right-footed playing on a right wing.
You signed Sancho again. Oli, innit?
Yeah, Oli did. That's his signing.
Well, it wasn't Ole's signing; it was the club signing.
Love to see Anthony play under Oli. See how that would work.
Yeah, that would have worked. But actually, it wouldn't matter what player you put under him; he'll break their back. Hoyland would have a broken back by now. Amrabat would be, if he was under him, he would have been running to the ground as well. His back would be gone too. But the way I look at it is, I wanted him. I hinted in the summer. I wanted him sold anyways. If a good bid came in, I wanted him sold. But I was happy with his pre-season performances because he looked like a better player on the pitch. That was it. But when you've been used as a right winger, left winger, false 9, attacking mid, the time of the club is done, mate. The manager just don't favour you. And this is why I say he's been blown out of proportion anyways. Managers have their favourites. Some of them are stinkers. Everyone's got them. They always wonder why. Why are you playing this guy for? What the hell? Why are you not playing this guy? Because he's better than him. It is what it is. The guy needs to get sold now. You're on 350k per week wages. Spotlights on you. You cost a big ball of money that didn't come from exactly himself as a manager, but it's just, I say this all the time. Sometimes I'm not every manager's favorite cup of tea. I'd rather drop down and go play for a different manager that I like. This is the way it is. Some people just don't fancy you. Some want hoofball, some want pretty football, and some people want hard workers. It just is what it is.
How much would you accept for him in January? Obviously, you're gonna have to cut your losses either way. But what's a reasonable
in January, because it's a winter window? It depends who may need him at the time. But I'm accepting something around 40 million. I'll be real, 45 million.
That's what I was thinking. Still,
like I don't think he's gonna warrant anything else. He's still young. He's still got talent. If I see Havertz go for 65 mil and he's like the same age, if not older, then I want something the same as well. Just I don't believe my club can get a fee for anyone for that sort. Maybe Chelsea coming for him. Maybe a Saudi club comes in for him. I don't know, but he's on a lot of wages and he's not putting up your 350k to be going AWOL or on the bench. What's the point? You know, you got to repay the people for what what we pay for every week. You know, so that is and that's that. I can't really think more about Sancho, the club. It's just gonna get. I know facts in the next week. It's gonna get more stupid. Way more stupid. And now we've got this Anthony situation.
And you know why, Kaz? The timing's wrong. You know why? Because now it's international break. It's going to be one of the main talking points. It's not like you're playing or United could win to kind of take the heat of it. You've got 2 weeks now where that's literally going to be the main focus. And this is why I was saying, go on.
I was just going to say, no, the thing is, what I don't get is that like Ten Hag's called out Garnacho, called out Rashford, Van der Beek, Maguire in a sense, but Maguire kept professional about it. De Gea still kept professional a little bit about it. You know, it is what it is, isn't it? He didn't favour him at the end. He changed his mind, whatever. Garnacho came back, used as an impact player, is what it is. Rashford was late, got pulled out the team, came in, scored a goal, is what it is. Put his head down. Even Paul Scholes said at the time when Varane came in, you know, when Varane came into the club, he thought his career at Man United was done and he might need to go or something like that. But he said, no, like his mentality said, no, I need to put my head down. And it is what it is. That's what I mean. I think what Sancho's done is played into Ten Hag's hands a little bit and exposed for what it is. This is his mentality. This is what we have in and around the club still. People that don't want to work. They think they put in a little bit of work is work. It's not work.
I don't know. I don't think we can entirely say that. Actually.
You have to gauge a response. Like, where's your response? Okay, if someone's called you out, you proved them wrong, innit?
Yeah, of course, but I already said I don't think what Ten Hag said was all the way out of pocket. It's a culmination of things, and this little thing has tipped man over the edge. That's clearly what it is. I think there's a lot more. Again, when we hear things from players and managers, yeah, I believe sometimes again it's similar to what Jordan Henderson's even saying about Liverpool. We'll get into that in a bit. But when the players talk after they've left the club, obviously, and Roms will know as well, we've spoken about Fabio Carvalho and how his thoughts towards Jurgen Klopp and what was said in the public compared to, you know, what might have been happening behind the scenes. We will never truly know, innit? We'll never truly know. But I genuinely think a lot of things have been going on. And that's all it was. I just think with Jadon Sancho, again, he's like what you said, there's managers have their favourites. And Anthony's always going to get away with a lot more than what Sancho's going to get away with. Because fortunately for Anthony, as bad as I think he is, he still plays to the system. Ineffective or effective, he still plays to the system. And he's more high octane and he looks like he works a bit harder, even though the output isn't there. So he's always going to be favoured. And I think as a human being, to see someone who's not as good as you, who costs more than you, play worse than you, not as good as you, and still play, and you think you're working hard, and then you still don't get picked, and then you get called out for it, on top of everything else that's been happening over the past 2 years, I'll be a little bit angry as well. That's all I'm saying, innit?
If you want to be the best transition team as well, players like Sancho, they don't fit into the squad, unfortunately.
You know, just to elaborate on your point,
he's not his favorite, bro. He's not his favorite. It was very obvious in the preseason. He tried him in many positions, and it just didn't work. So it is what it is.
Yeah. Moving on to the juicy part. This is why you two are probably here, to be fair, more or less, anyways. Liverpool Football Club, Salah 215 million, not 220 million, as it was reported yesterday. Mo will be back in a sec. 215 million. How are you guys thinking about that, though? Like, does that tempt you in any sort of way, shape, or form?
This is going to be interesting. I'm going to let Mod start this. I feel like we're going to have a difference in
split. We had a mad conversation on it yesterday. I'd personally reject it, but I don't know what you man think.
He's nowadays, it just depends where you stand with Liverpool. In my opinion, I feel like there is no price tag that Mo Salah can be sold for in this window, because at this point, obviously, this conversation becomes a lot more interesting if it's done in June. When our window is closed, so we can't replace him. Like, it doesn't matter what is that money doing for us? It's not doing anything. So if you want Liverpool to come 7th or 8th, then sell him. If you want Liverpool to compete this year, which is not a crazy thing to say, or at least comfortably be in the top 4, which isn't crazy to say either, then you know what I'm saying, you get your goals. I'm looking all around the pitch, and people say, yeah, the rest of the guys can fill in for goals. Let one of them get injured. Let just one of them get injured. Let Jota get injured. Let Diaz get injured. All of a sudden, Ben Doak's got to play week in, week out. Harvey Elliott's got to play in the front three. Let one of these men get injured and, see if that 220 million is going to save man them then. So that's my.
But I'm with Mont. What I'm going to do? Me personally, I would reject it now, but I'm not going to pause. I'm not going to bash the guys that would sell him for that fee. And the reason being is, Mont, you make a very good point, because if we sold Salah and then our front four, one of them was to get injured in Diaz, Gakpo, Jota, or Nunes, the depth is poor. Like, to rely on Doak in his debut, could even say breakout season, the pressure will be on him. However, don't you think, Mont, our front four, let's say without injuries, because every club's going to get injuries, don't you think our front four are competent enough to at least get us till January? But then the caveat with that is, do we trust FSG to replace Salah? Well, first of all, you can't replace him. But do we even trust our owners to go out there and even get someone half as talented as Salah? That's why I understand, man, I don't want to sell him. But Mont, I can't lie, this will be the biggest transfer record fee ever, and I think you opened it up well. It depends where you stand as a Liverpool fan. Because me personally, I don't expect us to challenge. Do I think we can win one of the domestic cups without Salah? Yes. Do I think we can win Europa League without Salah? Yes. Do I think we can win the league with or without Salah? No. So for me, if we was to sell him, I wouldn't be as disheartened as you, because my objectives still stay the same. What I think we're capable of doing this season still stay the same. However, because it is this late and we can't find a replacement, and like you said, injuries will happen and we tend to get them more often than not, I would keep him. But in January, if they come back in with the same bid, Months, I'll be real, I'm selling him. Within these next 2-3 days, I'm not. But if they come in with the same money in January, I'll accept it, man. I'll accept it.
1 sec. 20 Hardaway, just ETH could ruin Sancho's career with those comments. Really, they're just words, man. It's not like it's the first time the guy's had some issues at our club, Man City and Dortmund, to be precise. Tumper Lion says, can't believe how big this has got. Players get overlooked every day. He needs to shut up and get his head, and he going like he's going to be tearing it up. Yeah, man, that's true. That's all on Sancho. Wait, but 250 million. When I think about it, how much did you get for Gravenberch? Was it about 37? And I'm just trying to think. There's about 60 million in the bank somewhere. Clearly, there has to be. But they said that bid is apparently 150 million up front. You know, we're talking mental money that you could rebuild into the squad. Would you really want to be doing that in January though, or would there not really be much of a difference between January and the summer?
Everyone knows how difficult it is to do business in January. So for me, no business will be getting done in January in terms of Salah. Like, to sell, like, because it's funny because it's all in hindsight. But if Liverpool is sitting second in the Premier League and then we sell Salah, you're going to be happy then?
But this is where I say it depends what you think we're capable of. Because I don't see us challenging.
But things change. You don't see us challenging. But if we're sitting second, 2 points behind Manchester City by Christmas, and the midfield is gelled and the defense looks back to how it was, Gravenberch starts hitting off. I know these are all ifs, so we're talking hindsight. You happy to sell Salah then?
Then no, you don't sell your best player with half the season to go, and then you're in with a shout to win the league.
Because my point is, yeah, I believe we can win the Europa League with and without Salah. That's fine. I believe in that one. But I don't believe Liverpool finished top 4 without Salah. I believe we drop out the top 4 because our defense isn't good enough. Everyone knows Liverpool's defense is shaky. We have Van Dijk is suspended and Ibu's injured. We don't know how injured he's going to be for the rest of the season. The midfield is still gelling. I have no issues with the midfield having inconsistencies because there's 4 new midfielders that have been signed. So they're not just going to go like that straight away. It's not going to happen. So the only consistent thing we have is attack. And the most consistent thing about our attack is no Salah. If you take the most consistent thing out of our attack away, the attack becomes not as consistent. We have a midfield that's still gelling, and we have a shaky defense. So the only constant that we have in the team is our goalkeeper. Now we just become a team that is clearly just not good enough to either compete, not good enough to be consistent. And then it's just like, that's not something I need to be watching. We need consistency in the team. And going forward is the only thing we have that is saving us points in the Premier League. The fact that we can score goals. So to take our best goal scorer out without reply or it just doesn't make sense to me on the pitch. Everyone talks about how done out we are, how dead our midfield is, how shaky we are at the back. We're sitting there with 10 points out of 12 games when we've gone to the Bridge and we've gone to St. James's Park. Why? Because we score goals. You take Salah's goals away, there's too much inconsistencies from top to bottom. That to me looks like a team that struggles to finish top 4. And let's say we do, remember, Europa League's a one-off final. It's a one-off game. You could still lose that game same way. You don't win the Europa League, you don't win a cup, you finish outside the top 4. Welcome to the banner era.
But Mods, do you genuinely believe we don't get 4th or 5th if we sell Salah?
Yeah.
I agree with you in a sense. Listen, like you said earlier, if we're sitting second, let's say in January, then I'll be real with you. There's no way I sell Salah because it actually is. It is possible that we could win the league. But let's say we're where we kind of should be, which I'll say the most of the family should agree with. Let's say it goes halfway season. I think everyone expects us to be around 3rd or 4th, right? And let's say we're 10, 15 points off City already. Do you feel even if we sell Salah with our firepower we already have, we can't still clinch top 4? Because I think we can without Salah. If we were in them areas in January, I think we can.
That's all dead, bro. This whole clinch top 4 thing. I'm not trying to live life on the edge for top 4 for 200 mil that we can't spend effectively. Like this is
that's where I understand fans that want to keep him, because this then goes back to our own. Are we going to reinvest that properly? So I do understand that, but I just think this whole thing of it's impossible. We most likely won't get 4th without Salah in the team. Me personally, I still think we. I think we could. I remember I'm being shameless. It's not even 4th. It's 5th as well. Let me just.
Fifth is, remember, I looked into it. 5th isn't guaranteed. That's only if English team get to the final of both Europa League and Champions League or something like that. There's a criteria. So 5th isn't guaranteed for Champions League at this moment in time.
Aston City though, we'll get final Europa League, City Champions League. Happy days, isn't it?
The Europa League could be, if Salah does leave, then that means like Europa League would be for me, it'd be your only route into Champions League next season, because Salah is 50%. Someone even said it there. It's about 50% of your attack. Like,
bro, I'm telling you, man.
Think about this year. Who's capable enough to play on the right? Don't say Szoboszlai. He's cementing his position. He's cementing his position in the limit place for one. And yes, he can play there. Yeah, with Salah, look at the ball Trent was playing over to him. How many times per season do you see that turn and spin from Salah? Yes, some may be offside, but he scares defenses. Like the way I look with Salah is like, I'm not saying he's the only thing for Liverpool to not get a top 6, top 5 finish, but he's a difference in big games. He always peppers a goal against someone. Go look at his top 6 record. Crazy. Crazy. That's what I'm trying to say. He's always sometimes the clutch player to make that little bit of a difference. Sometimes Jota, sometimes Odd, but you ain't got another right winger that's going to make an effect like that. That's like taking it's too much of a key piece to be taken out your front line right now. Can they manage? Yeah, but you're taking a lot of heart out of that team. But it doesn't mean you won't reinvest that. That's what I'm saying. If he was to leave that, it doesn't mean you won't reinvest that in January and have like another great run to go on and do things. You mentioned business in January is hard, and who is the replacement? That is another part.
You mentioned the name right 2-3 weeks ago, and whenever I go on other streams, I always vouch. You said this, but at the end, right, when you said that, the more I thought of it. Yes, he's not Salah's level at all. I'm not saying that, but stylistically, only problem with him is he's very injury prone. I don't think he's hardly played for Dortmund, but stylistically, he naturally has the eye for goal. He started off as a 9. I think he can play wide as well. I would hear that. I would actually hear that in the January, and we've already got that good relationship with Dortmund as it is. But to conclude this, I am with Mons. I would not sell him now, but I won't just dismiss the people that would sell him now, because there's pros and cons for both. But I dismiss everyone who says anyone who says they'll sell him now is you're out. Mons, let me ask you this: do you think his value will depreciate mad in next summer? Like to a point where you literally get half.
We could probably listen. We'll probably squeeze about 80 mil, around 80 mil next year.
I don't think so. I think you get more.
Yeah, because the way Saudi pay with the money, we might still get more at that point because he's still got another couple years. But like my point is that like the same people that are willing to sell Salah now don't trust the board. So what are you talking about? You know,
I do hear you.
why do you want to sell Salah then? Because clearly he ain't going to reinvest properly. It's just stupidness. It's just stupidness. Sorry, it's just
Yeah,
dumb.
I think if they're given 215, that they get about, I think you get about 120. I actually think 120 is good enough. And if all of that is up, if all of that is up front as well, 120 million, it's a no-brainer to reinvest a lot of that into the squad.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're thinking of any you've got to find the right profile though. I know Adeyemi doesn't play on the right all the time, but his future lies on the right-hand side. He's a left-footed guy. He's techie with it.
This is what I'd like to hear when Mo comes back. This is what I'd like to hear Mo's opinion. But do you think, like, next summer, the Saudis might just be subbing, like, you know what? As much as he's the poster boy for our league and that, we wanted more from him a year ago. You lot didn't want him.
No
do you think they might just take the mick with it?
No chance. This brother, you know, Al Ittihad is the only club in for him right now. Guarantee next year, all the Saudi clubs are going to be in for him. All of them. So there's going to be a bidding war for him, 100%. Because at the end of the day, it's all relevant. He's a Muslim, yeah. He's an Arab. He's very good at football, you know, and he's very humble. That is exactly what you're going to want and need in and around the Saudi League.
They want to give him the keys to the city.
I read something. Apparently, they want to give, like, not make him president, but he's got. I saw something.
Well, you already see what's even the common Saudi does for normal footballers and everything, like the Fabinhos and that. They'll just hand them Rolexes after the game and that, bro. They don't care. They don't care, bro. They go give them ice, whatever it is. These man, it's built different out there, bro. And it's not even about the money about it. I think it's just the fact of the love and the thought of different things. They just, like, Saudi football, don't get me wrong. Look how much more clips are coming out now. Every time there's a goal for someone, it's on there, free. Look at Mitrovic, 4-3. That's entertainment. Do you know what I mean? Like, come on, man. That's a hat-trick from Mitrovic. And to think that even take over. Like, they're going to, I'm not joking, the Saudi league is going to be better than the French league soon. Watch.
Even Al Ali, did you see? You see the other day, Kaz, but they got battered 5-1 with Mahrez, Firmino, and Saint Maximin. I was seeing that everywhere. I was like, "Raw, this league's actually getting a big buzz." But no, I do hear it. That's like next summer. I think they'll offer half of what they're offering now, and I think we'll take that with a year left. They're offering what, 215? I can see them offering 105.
Oh, can I ask you a question quick? Because someone said that Mo Salah's Egyptian, not Arab.
What? Ignorance is
the country.
What's the predominant race of people over in Egypt?
We don't. We literally don't.
It's Arab.
It's Arab. Like we're Arab. What does that mean? I don't get the question.
I don't know why. Why'd you not even entertain that one? Why'd you not even entertain
you know what it is? Sometimes I feel like schools just come back and everything. I feel like, you know, maybe some
people need to have their education checked, bro. Like, seriously, bro.
Yeah, it's funny though, but no, good one. I like that one. Tom Lion says, we're not reinvesting, so what's the point of selling? See, this is my whole argument, yeah. And I said it yesterday, and I'll say it to you guys again. How much is Mo Salah worth in goals and assists compared to the money that would be used to go and buy him? What can go get that? Don't get me wrong, no one can replace Mo Salah. Not one player on this right now. There's potentially one, and he plays for Arsenal, right? But then again, he's not as direct. Actually, no, to be fair, he could probably do something similar because he's only 21, 22. But the way I look at it, even if you got 250 million now, it's just, bro, the amount of goals and assists he's going to get this year is going to be worth about from between 100 and 150 million as a player in general. So even if you go get 120 million next year, yes, he does leave, but then he projects you to somewhere called the Champions League, right? And how much money does that get you compared to Europa League? It all adds up, doesn't it? TV money, etc., blah, blah, blah. It all adds up. So there's no point selling such a player because it's going to affect everything. And if, let's say, you don't get Champions League, oh my word, that's 2 years in a row that you're not in Champions League. And that damages your credibility massively. And then there's going to be more questions over Klopp, more questions over FSG, and more questions everywhere in the fan base that you don't need right now. Talk about planes going over Anfield and shit.
Let me ask you and Mo this, yeah, because I already know Monty's answer, but let me ask you and Mo this. Do you think within the next 2-3 days we do sell him?
Yeah.
Say again, sorry?
Yes, Roms. So
I was asking if you think we sell him in the next couple of days.
100% not.
I'll tell you the reason why.
No, but Mo, just to consider though, see that 150 million that was bidded, that got it instantly rejected. instantly. So what's an extra 70 million going to ponder? Think about it.
I am banking on Jurgen Klopp and the new players backing themselves. I am actually thinking that they think that they can make Champions League without Mo Salah, and that money can be reinvested in general.
I agree with you. I agree. So
I trust your squad. Listen, that Villa game, I know. Me and Cass talked about it. Villa played the high line, played into your hands and everything, but some of your players look sharp. One of the key players that looks so sharp is Gomez. That means you have the defense back. I know you can say what you say, Mons. You can say what you say, Mons, right?
Only thing of that is, Mo, yeah, he's had 2 good games now. We need to see this for maybe 10, 50. We need to see a bigger sample size. Because I agree with you, he's been excellent. For me, arguably man of the match the last 2 games. But we need to see this.
Can I ask you and Mons something? I'm sorry. When was the last time you saw 2 games back-to-back good from Gomez? Name the date. Exactly.
You're proving my point by saying that. That means there's no case. That means there's no case study to know that this will carry on. Why
not? Okay, why not?
Because you just told me when's the last time you've seen it. So we've now seen it once.
No. So you have seen it now, so it might work. Okay, hear me out. You cannot. With Diaz. I saw Diaz electric. Listen, bro. I saw Diaz
on fire.
Sabozlai.
He looked reinvigorated.
Oh my word! Right. McAllister settling in next to Trent in that midfield. Even Jones was all right. You're going to have this guy, Gravenberch, who was wicked at Ajax. He hasn't had the chance to play football at Bayern Munich. So he's supposed to be a very good prospect. You have Nunes scoring goals based on your fan base. I know you don't like him, Mons. What is stopping this team from getting 4th? I'm not saying 2nd. I'm not saying 3rd. 4th. You're telling me that without Mo Salah, Chelsea are better than you. Newcastle are better than you. Spurs are better than you. You're lying to yourself.
Whoa. Spurs are looking all right at the moment.
Yeah, okay. Okay. How about Man United? Mons, how about Man United?
Them man are done.
Be honest.
But them man are done up. But again, I can't judge Man United 100% until I see Amrabat play. Then I see.
By the way, Cass Hoyland, I like the cameo. That's
you guys don't understand my point. Like, the guy gets a lot of money in Saudi Arabia, and we said it before about Mbappe and Neymar. There is money and there is generational wealth, right? He is going to make 10 times his wage, giving everything to Liverpool. If you tell me that you're guaranteeing that Salah will get a 3-year contract like he's getting now next year, I'm going to stand by you and tell you, yes, don't sell him. But if you're going to deprive him from that much money for 1 year, I think you're just being ungrateful. I know that you want to make Champions League. I believe that Liverpool can make Champions League without him.
Ungrateful? He's on 350 bags right now. What do you mean ungrateful?
Here we go. 350K. Here we go. Watch this. Watch somebody. That's poor people's argument. I don't want to speak over you. Poor people's argument. This is what you're saying, Mons. It's poor people's argument. 350K is different from 1 million a month.
Yeah, I'm not saying that.
Wait.
Not 1, 2 million a month. 10 million a month. I'm sorry, Cass. Right? Is it 10 million a month?
Hold on. I know there's a colossal difference in his finances. But what I'm saying is you can't use the word ungrateful if we made him the most valuable player at the club with the highest salary and the best incentives. The word ungrateful is the wrong word to use there. It's almost, if you understand, it's blocking him for greater things, but not ungrateful. We're not going to use ungrateful.
Okay. I'll give you that. But the way you talk about him is that you're the Liverpool made him. Yes, Jurgen Klopp made him, but also he gave his heart to the club. Achieved everything with you.
Yeah, 100%. That's
fine. He did achieve everything. Mo Salah, to be honest, Mo Salah is one of these players that never holds back on the pitch. Yeah. Never.
I know. Right? What's the point of kissing the badge and that? What was the point of kissing the badge and posting your number and everything on Instagram?
Maybe he just wants to tell the fans that he's all right with staying. Maybe
he didn't even kiss the badge. He was milked. He was working something. He didn't actually kiss the badge. Just to put that out there.
Anyway, listen.
You cannot fault me, Mons. You cannot fault me. You cannot fault me as an Egyptian for me saying that Mo Salah, as an Egyptian brother, that he should go and get 10 million a month other than 350K a week. Tax free. Football wise, yes, I get it.
I'll be real. If the man is on 350 and it's going on to $1 million, it's going up to $1 million, I don't give a dash. The man is rich. He's just becoming more rich. I care about my club and where it wants to be. I don't give a fuck how much money man are on, because it's not my money.
So you don't care about him. You don't care about him.
Care about? I care about where my club can be and the best it can finish, and that's what I care about. And if that ducks off, if Mo Salah doesn't get offered a nice fruitful wage a year later because we wanted to keep him because we wanted the best for our club, so be it. I do not care about Mo Salah's finances. I care about what goes on the pitch. What goes on the pitch. It's as simple as that.
So he should care about himself as well. So he should care about himself as well. The way you talk now is that you don't care about his welfare. All you care about with the club is
no.
So I cannot fault Mo Salah tomorrow. I cannot fault Mo Salah tomorrow if he says I care about myself, because the fan base like you don't care about him.
Wait, what do you mean? How can you say I don't care about the player?
You literally just said I don't care if he's gonna get richer. I care about my club. You literally just said that.
No, because he's going from crazy rich to just crazy rich. It's not Caicedo where you're going from 30 grand a week to 200, 300, whatever. It's not that, bro. You're not. Caicedo's money in football terms is not good money. He's earning Joe Gomez money when he first signed.
Your good money is your good money. Your good money is your good money.
Salah is still generational wealth off. He's still generational wealth off. He's good. He's fine. So from him going to generational wealth to just stupid money, what's he even going to do with the extra money? I don't know how he spends.
Oh my God, poor man's argument. I'm going to let the guys talk.
You can say poor man's argument, but at the end of the day, as I said, I care about Liverpool more than I care about Mo Salah's extra.
Oh yeah, of course. I know you're a fan, but so Mo Salah should care about himself as well.
Okay, but him caring about himself doesn't directly correlate to, again, that means we're talking about that means we're saying every player that gets a pay rise should leave. Cool, right?
No. Sorry, Mons. There is a pay rise, and there is 10 times your wage. You're not getting the point, Mons. 350K a week to 10 million a month is ridiculously different. We're not talking about the same thing.
When he leaves next year, we all know he's leaving. He's going to get that money anyway.
He's going to get a pay rise. He's still going to get a pay rise. Even if it's like, if he gets 800K a week compared to his 1 million a week, whoop-de-doo, oh my God, you buy 7 planes instead of 8 planes. Oh my God. Oh, it's such an issue, isn't it? Well, that 7 to 8 planes or whatever extra house he wants to buy, I don't care. I don't care. What I care about is the fact that
100 million more. 100. Just to correct it, it's 100 million more a year. Just to correct it.
Yeah, so, okay,
just to put it out there, people. It's 100.
2 free yachts and planes. Great. 2 free yachts and planes. That's fine. At the end of the day, Mo Salah is still on a lot of money at Liverpool, and he's still going to get a significant pay rise when he moves next year, or if he moves next year, if you don't sell him in the next few days. It's as simple as that. I think that if you want to sell Mo Salah, I can't stress this more. You lot will listen. Man will listen when they're dead. I swear to God, when it comes to this selling, man, not you, by the way, you, man. I'm talking about the man that say, get him out now for money. When you can't replace a player and the market's not saturated enough for you to go and get someone who's even half as good as him, how could you want to sell a guy when and then you're happy with your team dropping down to where they could drop down? There will be no consistency left for Liverpool apart from Alisson Becker. Because man are telling me, Joe Gomez is good for 2 games. Joe Gomez has been good. Hold on. Joe Gomez has been good for 2 games. And man are telling me, it could be all right. Joe Gomez has been good he's been good. Midfield's still gelling. There's still injuries. Let one of these men let Liverpool have another injury crisis. Oh my God. You man will listen when you are dead. I swear to God.
Like I said at the start, I know Mo here, but like I said at the start of this section, yeah, it depends on your objective. It depends what Liverpool fan you speak to, because to echo what Mo says, do I think we can win a domestic cup, Europa League, and for me get top 4 without Mo Salah? I believe we can, but I understand your standpoint. The fact we're not going to reinvest properly and we don't trust our owners to, I get why people don't want to sell him, but I don't think it's doom and gloom if we do sell him. The firepower of our attack is enough. That's the way I see it. That's honestly the way I see it.
You know what? I don't think the fire attack is enough, because I think because again, it's not just about scoring goals; it's about going the other way. And if we are conceding goals,
Mo Salah has nothing to do with going the other way, though.
No.
Whether Mo Salah is in the team or not, we will still concede goals.
Now let me break it down. I'm going to break it down now. Liverpool are scoring goals at this rate, but we're also conceding at this rate. Correct or incorrect?
Correct.
Right. So now that means at least we're winning more than we're losing, or we're going to gain points more than we're going to lose points. Right. Salah's goals gets taken away. We don't really bring in a replacement because the window's closed. The goals drop to here. That equates to more draws and more losses potentially because we're still conceding goals at the same rate. If the defense gets better, then you can take away Mo Salah's goals. How about that? If the defense gets better, you can take away Salah's goals and it requires less goals to win. But we require a certain amount of goals to win games consistently for Liverpool to get any sort of success, whether it be domestic, Premier League, or whatever.
Can I ask you, Mons? Can I ask you a question?
Hold on. Whatever you say for the club, but when you're conceding at the same rate, I don't believe the 4 that we have consistently is enough because we're conceding too many goals. I'm sorry, Trent's just got injured as well, so we've forgotten about that.
Monch, just a rebuttal to that though. You're saying Salah's goals in that, but he is actually level as it stands. I know you're probably going to say eventually he'll become a top goal scorer, but him, Diaz, and Nunes are all in the same goals at the moment.
Lazy argument.
No, Rams. We
Lazy.
cannot judge on
Lazy
4
argument.
games. You can tell that. But let me just counter footballing wise. Forget money now. I actually think your midfield last year was Henderson, Fabinho with half a leg, and Curtis Jones at sometimes, Harvey Elliott at sometimes. The way you added McAllister, Szoboszlai now, and maybe Gravenberch, I actually think that Mo Salah 30
the most year, by the way, Rams, out of all of them. So
30 goals contribution from Mo Salah. It's not like you're going to play with 10 men. I think the way you added the 8s now, the 8s can contribute instead of Henderson having 7 assists or 5 assists. I don't know how many assists. I don't know.
Szoboszlai will score as well.
Szoboszlai should get you 15 GA this year. McAllister will get you 10. The way you added the 8th, okay, Mons, you laugh as much as you laugh. You see Szoboszlai is different than Henderson. Szoboszlai is more of an attacking player. This is why you're conceding goals, bro. This is why you're conceding, and this is why you're going to concede goals. Szoboszlai is an attacking player. McAllister is an attacking player. Your midfield is going to score goals. Back in the days, your midfield didn't used to score goals. It's only Gini Wijnaldum, and he left 3 years ago. After Gini Wijnaldum, there was no midfield.
And Mo Ronaldo didn't even score like that as well. It's only the odd game here and there. It's not. He won't play like this. He won't score at a rate. So Szoboszlai scores that.
All I'll say is that
I am sorry, Mons. You're really underestimating.
Mons. I'm not saying I'll sell him, but the fact you're dismissing the reasons why we can possibly sell him is mad. You have to
if we're talking about right now, I dismiss every single reason as to why. 100%. Every single reason.
Yeah, let me.
The one that created Mo Salah can create another Mo Salah, Mons. The one that created Mo Salah can create another Mo Salah. It's just you don't have to believe.
I'm not saying we can't.
Yeah.
You lot will realize if you don't want to sell him now, you will realize the harm.
Yeah, Solomon says 220 GBP will cover a year of no Champions League. Clubs get 80 average on a good run. That gives them 140 million to get a replacement. Liverpool or Live VAR, no Paul. Keeping Mo prisoner, hashtag free Mo now, says Divas. And then Gunben says, I think FSG don't sell till next summer. If they're smart, it will go from one club wanting him to a lot of Saudi clubs. As a fan, I want him to stay. Yeah, like, as I said, man, the grass isn't always greener.
Wait, correct me if I'm wrong. The 4 top clubs in Saudi are what? Al Ahly, Etihad, I forgot the other 2. Al Nassr, and then there's a 4.
Al Nassr, there's a Shabab, there is a lot of them.
No, but I mean, you know the top 4 that are owned by PIF. I mean the top 4 clubs is Nassr, Al Ahly, Etihad, and there's a 4th. I forgot, but they're probably the 4 that will battle it out for him. Because I'm not wrong in saying the rest of the league don't have as much money as them 4 clubs, innit? I think them 4.
My man, everybody in Saudi Arabia has money, so just that's not.
No, but not as much as the main 4 that are owned by PIF.
As far as I know, the whole thing is owned by the royal family. It's this prince or whatever, so it doesn't matter. That is why Al-Ittifaq was able to buy Henderson, so and pay Gerrard that much money. Like, come on, man.
Fair.
But anyway. Just to let you know, I actually don't think. Have you heard of a bidding war from Saudi Arabia last summer? It doesn't happen, bro. It doesn't happen.
No.
Yeah, no, it doesn't happen.
They're not gonna do. They're not gonna do it.
It's true. Guys, is still over. There's pretty much 800 of you in it. Please smash the like button. Just a friendly reminder if you haven't done so yet. I haven't asked you all stream, by the way. Just let it be. And there's 213 likes. At least get this to minimum 300. So if you close your live chats, you know exactly where it is. Underneath our screen that you can see right now, and there's a little fun button that you could all hit if you don't mind. But
By the
yeah,
way,
man. Go
Cass,
on.
just quickly, I do think it was quite funny how Mo was talking about how poor Liverpool were, and everyone talks about how done out Liverpool were. Now all of a sudden, Liverpool are good enough to function without Salah.
I said it yesterday. You're not listening. You didn't listen to me yesterday. I said the league. I actually thought that the teams will be stronger than this. Man United look weaker. Arsenal look weaker for me. Chelsea look absolutely abysmal. So I'm just, where's the competition?
Newcastle as well.
West Newcastle. Look at what Newcastle. Look at what you're competing with West Ham now at the moment. Yeah, we're not realistic, but in my opinion, you looked all right. Like the game against Newcastle, you showed fight. I didn't like the way you played football, but against Villa, if you have 2 more games like this, I know that you'll be back. I know that Jurgen Klopp is going to figure it out. And also, Cass was screaming all summer, put Trent back in the right side and then let him a little bit invert. Now he is doing that again. Now look at his distribution from that right side again. This is what I'm seeing. So I'm just analyzing what I saw once.
I just think we can't win. I just think Liverpool can't win.
We're another thing.
I just think we're back or we're not back or we're done out. Let us lose the opening game after the break and we'll be done out again. I promise you.
Another thing, and Mo would admit this, at the end of the day, you just want what's best for your compatriot as well. That's what it comes down to as well.
Absolutely. Listen, footballing wise, I want to see more Salah. Listen. Footballing wise, I want to see more. I watch every Premier League game, right? I'm a Premier League fan. I want to watch more Salah play against City, against Man United. But as I said before, and I said it there is money. If he was offered 500k a week, I wouldn't be saying the same thing. But for Liverpool to be offered 220 and for this guy to be offered 10 million a month, I'm crazy not to say that he should go. And I think anybody else that says otherwise is crazy as well. Hence Mons.
Yeah.
I don't know. Khaled says Gonçalves in January, 70 million GA similar to Salah. Wait, what Gonçalves are you talking about?
Who is this guy?
Sporting.
You mean Pedro?
There's about two. But I don't know if he's on about the one from Sporting.
He can't be on about from the one from Sporting, surely.
I actually think Liverpool should go get Kvaratskhelia. Should go get a 6, a good one.
I like
a defender.
Adeyemi.
Adeyemi, fantastic. Yeah, Adeyemi,
you know what it is? I like the look of what I saw from Ben Doak.
And do you know what it is? Adeyemi, right? That wouldn't be like a kind of panic or Klopp's been rating him. We were linked with him 2 summers ago. Klopp has been an admirer of him. He's German. It would be one that we actually have looked at. It wouldn't just be on, we just plucked him out of thin air or we're just buying him because he's hot at the moment. We've actually been looking at him. That's what was a great shout from Kaz. I'm not gonna lie.
Man, I don't know. I don't like the look of what
about Jared Bowen then?
Bro, you keep saying I rate Bowen.
Why do people think I'm kidding? Why do you really think I'm kidding?
No, I'm with you on that one. I think Bowen's a brilliant footballer. I said I would have taken him last.
Is this because he has the same name as you, man?
Yeah, that's why.
You know what the problem with Bowen is, Mons? To be honest, is convince West Ham to sell him for less than 80 million. I think that would be the problem.
Bro, I'll take.
Otherwise, I don't think he's bad at all. The guy has a wicked touch. The guy can score goals. Under Jurgen Klopp. Remember, he plays under the freaking Moyes guys, and he scores all these goals.
If he gets the freedom at a top 6 club, I think Bowen can do a thing. And I think he's the next best right winger in the league at the moment. I think if you're going right wingers in the league, I think it goes Mo Salah, Bukayo Saka, and then it goes Jared Bowen.
Can't lie,
I like DRB. I think DRB's ceiling's obviously higher than Bowen's. DRB's ceiling's higher, but those are the 3.
I can't lie. I'm going straight to Villa next summer. How much do you want? Like, honestly, how much do you want?
I actually like Bowen as a right winger more than actually Diaby, to be honest. As a right winger, out and out right winger, left-footed.
Diaby's
but left-footed right winger, cut inside. I like Bowen. I like that.
I think Villa wouldn't even start negotiating.
I'm going to say another name. Yeah, you lot might disagree, but I bet people say in the comments. Mbuemo. You know, he looks 30 years old.
I can hear it.
Is he a right winger though?
Yeah, the guy's a goal scorer. He's wicked. He does it. Have you not seen his turn? He does. He kind
And
of.
most of his
Yeah, he's
goals, bro.
amazing. I like him. I
Most
thought he's mostly a second striker, though. A second
Nah,
striker.
Yeah,
nah,
but even most of his goals, he naturally comes from the right anyway onto his left. So
Oh, okay.
it makes sense. It makes
Yeah,
sense.
I like Mbeumo. I think he's
He's
definitely
young, though.
underrated.
Cass, he's young, though. You
No,
know,
I
he's
don't
young.
care.
I think
He's about 29 right now, but he says he's 24.
Mbeumo
Listen,
is
I couldn't
29.
believe it.
thought he was 73 or something.
I was judging him by his hair. When I saw you forward and losing hair, I thought, yeah, he's 27,
He's
28.
on some Nathan Redmond thing. Like, it's just sign don't look right, man. Sign don't look right. Even
crazy.
Nathan Redmond fell off at like 25. Like, it's just what happened. But yeah, man, the last part is just like, so I was gonna allude this back to the Spurs part as well. They lost Kane, and look how they're playing now. All of a sudden, you lose Salah. Look how maybe you might evolve and play right now. Let me ask you. Yeah, I know it's not the same thing, but you know he was as important to Spurs as Salah is important to you right now as well. Yeah,
Just
it's
to
not
add on to that, guys,
the only difference
I
is
saw-
it's not a one-man team at Liverpool, isn't it? But this time around, I want people in the comments to be actually serious and listen. Yeah, the way they're going and the way they're moving to these smaller teams, it looks like easy food. Yeah, Brentford, they got a draw. They could have won that. To be fair, you know, we all thought that Tottenham might get spanked. They should have lost. To be fair, that was their first game though. Like in credit, can Spurs realistically have a shout as a dark horse for being in somewhere? Let's say top 4, top 5, if they continue to play the way they play, or do you reckon this is all a blip? Do you reckon this is just all a facade until it hits like December, where they usually crumble? Because no pressure Spurs is a good Spurs. We saw that as well. We've seen it bare times.
Spurs are going to give a lot of teams trouble this season. I think their situation is a bit different from Liverpool's, just simply because Ange Postecoglou, his style of play is more flexible and more possession based, and is a very it's his style of football is good. Like if you're looking at it, it's that Pep Arteta style possession, you know, free flowing football. We haven't seen this from Spurs for a long, long time, probably since Pochettino. So the way I see it is that if your manager's a bit more flexible, I think the one thing they lack is squad depth. So I think the only thing is they're 1-2 injuries away from going back to the old Spurs. That's the only thing for them. Their squad is very thin, and we saw that because of their loss in the middle of the week. But at this moment in time, I look at Spurs and I go, right now, they're the second best team in the league right now. It goes City. In terms of teams how teams are looking based on the first 4 games of the season, what I've seen
Above us.
West Ham?
Above us.
Spurs have.
I'd say we're probably.
Spurs have because for me, I think Spurs were dodgy on the first week, and so were Liverpool. We were both dodgy, and we played the harder team. But Spurs obviously made United look very ordinary at times. Obviously, I feel like United aren't at their best, so I have to understand that. So I think it's probably a close second, third between Liverpool and Spurs. But I can go City at the top, Liverpool.
Well,
I disagree with you. I disagree with you.
I put Arsenal below that as well. I put Arsenal below.
I disagree with you about Liverpool because you played 4 games. 2 games you played like a Liverpool, and 2 games played a little bit different. Against Chelsea, a little bit. Second half, you got dominated.
Yeah,
and against Newcastle, of course, even before the yellow card, Newcastle had more.
We were struggling.
You weren't great. But Spurs, even against Brentford, they were like controlling the ball. Of course, they got hit on the counter because Brentford are Brentford. But I think Spurs are more stable than Liverpool at the moment. They have a certain style of play. It doesn't matter who they play against. I think, I admire this. Like I said it before, stamp your authority, stamp your way you play football, which is what Spurs are doing. Man United, they went, pressed, tried to play their football. And this is what I like that about Spurs, to be honest. Like just something that we haven't seen since Pochettino.
Yeah, that's the second best team for me.
And James Madison is the best number 10 in the league
at the moment. Yeah.
Just back to Kaz's original question and elaborating on Montz's point. I think they will be in a shout for top 4. I don't think they'll get because of squad depth. That's literally it for me. I think they're starting 11 on paper. I think what Ange's doing is incredible with them, but we're all going to get injuries. And when you look at their drop-offs, certain players that do get injury, if you look at their centre backs, you're then going back to what Davis, Tanganga. If you go in the middle, you're then I rate Skip, but you're then going back to Skip.
It's Eric Dyer. It's Eric Dyer and
Dyer as well.
But you can have the same thing. Sorry, you can have the same argument about a lot. They have 2 right backs, 2 left backs. They have 6 midfielders. and they have 4 center backs.
No, they got
Is
new
there a
young.
drop-off?
They got new youngsters centre
That
back. You know,
Phillips guy, isn't it?
that's
Yeah,
my boy's
so-
little brother. That's my
Swear.
boy's little brother. Ashley Phillips.
Ah.
Can't lie. I watched a few youth games. He looks cold, guys.
Bro.
Like I've only
So-
watched a few games.
The man
He looks
that-
So the
the man-
question
the man-
is, do you think the drop to live from Liverpool, as you guys were saying, to Matip and Gomez is worse than the drop to Sanchez and Darren? Also, the drop to
Sanchez is
Kivio
gone.
and whoever is going to play. Timber now is
Sanchez
injured. So
is gone.
basically, Arsenal
Sanchez is gone.
don't even have a backup. Go ahead, Mont.
I was saying Sanchez is gone, but yeah, no, I know what you're saying.
I think, Mo, to
So
answer your question,
who's the other one? I know Tanganga's gone, isn't he?
Yeah, Tanganga's gone as well.
Tanganga's gone
Sanchez
as well.
is still there.
He's gone to Genoa. Yeah, is it Genoa? Is he went to?
Oh, I thought he was still-
Genoa, but I think Sanchez is still there, isn't he? Has gone.
No,
No,
Sanchez-
I think
Sanchez went to
Galatasaray,
Galatasaray.
yeah.
They're gonna look
Listen,
at
who
Ben
are they
Davies.
centre backs?
But in
Davies
my
and who-
opinion, the drop for them up top is the massive problem.
And
Come on,
the defense.
man.
Their squad is mad. So as I said, once you beat Spurs and they're done, like, they are finished.
And the thing is though, they've got one game a week. They got no Carabao Cup. FA Cup's a while away yet. You know.
Yeah, they've literally got one. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we got like, and you go look. You know where their test is gonna be as well. They got Arsenal away.
Then they got us. We've got them after Arsenal.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we can, is that at Tottenham, innit?
Yeah.
So
There
there you go, man. It's a good shout for them. We're gonna be doing predictions later tonight, anyways. Daps and Ty and that. So we're gonna be changing up our predictions from last time. I don't know if I have it here still. Let me check. No, I don't. So, anyways, but yeah, we're gonna be back tonight at 10 p.m. where we're gonna be doing the predictions, the later ones, and see what everyone has. So I'll be everyone will have their own, and then we can kind of just summarize where everything's gonna be. Amarit says Salah money doesn't need to be a direct replacement, but can be spent on the team and bring back Edwards to do that job. We will be good. Well, there was rumors of that for sure. XY says, what a joke. Sell this late mean Liverpool is a small club. If they do sell this late, that means Liverpool's a small club.
Small club mentality.
Yeah, man. And if you stay on the stream, it will go over to Lewis's stream. He will be on here tomorrow to answer for his crimes and back to the 40-point stuff at 10. But we'll be back at 10 tonight. So big up. Make sure you subscribe to Big Six Bants in the comments of this channel.
10 subscribers away from 6.5k, so I knew you don't want to get me there. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, in the description, you'll see Monster's name and you'll see Big Six Bants link, and you can just click on it and go from there. So in a bit, back tonight. In a bit, love.